it at the bottle, not thinking about tomorrow. Don't worry, that's a motto, so we keep moving along.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Glimmingen Motorstadion here in Uddevalla, Sweden. It's round 15 of the FIM Motocross World Championship. With just 6 rounds to go, this MXGP title race is really starting to heat up now, with the first 3 riders separated by 38 points coming in to this weekend. We'll talk about where we're at after the qualifying race in a few moments' time. But Jeffrey Hurlings, he's third, but he's won 8 of the last 12 races and has moved closer to Jorge Prado. Tim Dyson, though, remains in the driving seat, where he still maintains a healthy advantage over Jorge Prado, the defending champion. Either one of these 3 riders can win this weekend. Do not count out last year's Swedish Grand Prix winner, though. Jeremy Seewer is a 3-time winner here, and his teammate, Roman Fevre, has also stood on the top step of the podium. Who will it be that stands on the top step of the podium here today?
Helt fantastiska hur de kan köra de här hastigheterna som banan ser ut. Ja, men det är lite grann att kolla.
Fans are in the house. They're here to support their main rider, their hero, the 517 Isak Gifting. The JK Racing Yamaha rider was fantastic in the ramp qualifying race yesterday until he wasn't, but you know what, he still recovered well. The racetrack here, a little bit shorter than it was last year with the new circuit modifications. You'll see them as the riders embark on the racetrack, of course, but it's working their way towards the finish line. It's that just to the left of the start straight. Look, you're coming up into the right-hander. That's the Monster Energy Mountain, and then about where the 3 is, which is the end of Sector 3, we used to go left, right, and then uphill into that left-hander at the top of the hill there. But as you can see, that's all changed behind the start line area. Simon Langenfelder was your winner in MX2 a year ago. Jeremy Seewer victorious in MXGP. But it's very, very interesting to see how this one will play out. Anyway, before we go any further, here's a quick recap as to what happened in the MXGP of Flanders 2 weekends ago, where Jeffrey Hurlings in that first race was absolutely sensational.
In race 1, what we saw was the usual Jorge Prado foxhole shot. But Jeffrey Hurlings played a very, very patient game. He just sat there, waited, bided his time. And then just as he was starting to make inroads, a couple of seconds a lap here and reducing that gap, and he was probably within about 5 or 6 seconds of Jorge, he came over the crest of the jump, and then I think it was Mark Schuh, the back marker, he was in a battle with somebody else, and for some reason he decided to square off. As he was doing that, and just getting on the gas, all of a sudden from out of nowhere, Jeffrey Hurlings just came in.
Wins here, and Hurlings into the side of the back marker. Hurlings out of second place. The speed that he was coming through there as well. Back markers in their own race, and he'll shake his head.
And from that side, if you're Jeffrey Hurlings, it's like,
yeah, at that point I was on the ground, and it just made me really angry because I really was just starting to close in on Jorge.
when he rejoined the race, all of a sudden he's like 16, 17 seconds down, and we just think, okay,
I needed 2 more laps to recover from that to get my gloves wiped clean, and
Prado's going to dance away, he's going to win the race, unchallenged. But then what happened next was just absolutely astonishing.
2:07.4, fastest lap of the race, lap 12, the same distance as the qualifying race yesterday, and he's down to 5.5 seconds. We've got a race on, folks.
Is 5 seconds a lap faster a lot?
Yeah.
That's my question. Is that a lot?
Well, 5 seconds quicker, and the gap is only 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Fans on their feet, they are urging him on. It's down to 3.3 seconds all of a sudden, halfway around lap 13.
I knew more or less the gap to Jeffrey because I could see him in a couple of parts of the track. Then I knew he crashed because at one point he lost quite some time, so I have those extra seconds that I thought I could manage.
honestly I just was like, I gotta win. I want to win. It's not I gotta win, I was like, I want to win, and I'll do whatever I can to do so.
What an atmosphere we've got here once again. Round the outside, he's not going to get through the inside here. We've got traffic ahead of him, doubling on the, and he goes by. He takes the lead. Wow, Prado, where did that come from? Jeffrey Hurlings just launched by Prado there.
I came from so far back because like 2-3 turns before that I was like minus 2-3 seconds still, and I just came in and boom, I passed him without warning. So I don't think he's seen that one coming that quick.
It was a great race, wasn't it? And Part of the reason why they call him the Bullet, Jeffrey Hurlings. Well, the atmosphere continues to build here in Uddevalla, Sweden, ahead of round 15, MXGP Race 1. And they're all here to see one rider. Well, they're here to see a lot of riders, but one in particular, Isak Gifting. And you know what? Lisa Leyland was down on the grid a few moments ago. She caught up with Isak Gifting, the JK Racing Yamaha rider. Before that, though, the Monster Energy Yamaha of Calvin Verlanderen, who had a tough race in the Ram qualifying race yesterday.
We're almost ready for MXGP Race 1, but I want to grab a few words with Calvin Verlanderen, just mainly about yesterday's race. Just, Calvin, you didn't really seem yourself yesterday in the Ram qualifying race, maybe struggling a bit. How was it from your side?
Honestly, I don't know if you watched, but I crashed in the start, so I was dead last. And a couple of riders hit me, so I was a bit sore, but I managed to come back to 13. So riding was good, and I was quite comfortable. So yeah, obviously disappointed about the crash, but my riding I'm happy with. So let's hopefully have a better start today and try stay out of trouble the first lap, and then try battle up front.
So just looking at a race like yesterday's, like you said, you crashed, you were a little bit beaten up, hard charge through the field, but how tired, how much energy did you use up yesterday for today's race? Are you feeling okay?
Physically, it's not such a tough track compared to like Lommel, for example. So it's all about finding the right lines and staying focused. I think mentally it's more tiring than physically on the body. So obviously I'm a bit battered and bruised from the crash, but I'll fight through the pain today.
Best of luck, Calvin. Thank you. Thanks. So in case you are wondering who this next rider is, it's Isak Gifting, aka a Swedish Viking on the start grid of the MXGP race. Let's talk about yesterday's race. You were giving your Swedish fans exactly what they wanted, Isak. I guess until you weren't. Just tell us, how was it from your seat?
Yeah, actually it couldn't be much better for me. I mean, good start. I was running up there with the guys. Was trying to pass for fourth, but got caught up in the rear wheel with Bogus there. But yeah, we still have a good gate pick for today, so that's all right. And at least we put on a show. That's all I want to do here. So I just hope I can repeat something of yesterday today, just with a little bit less crashes. Would be good.
That would be good. Sorry, I'm laughing because I actually can't take you seriously when with the helmet, with the cape. Are you going to wear that out on track, or are you going to lose the attire before then?
It will be on track. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I'll put I'll put one rider on this one and one on the other.
Best of luck for your home GP. Thank you. That's Isak Gifting there. Never a dull moment with him on the grid. It's time for MXGP Race 1.
There is never a dull moment when Isak Gifting is around. He is the gift that keeps on gifting. The MXGP riders have been out on track for their sighting lap. They're now back in the pens, getting ready if they're not already making their way to the line. And he is going around as a superhero in front of the fans, as he did yesterday in the Ram qualifying race. And yesterday we were spoiled to the air show. Normally it's today, but for whatever reason, double booked. I don't know. But anyway, fantastic air display here. If you're into your airplanes and your military stuff in particular, why not join us here next year? I'm sure we'll be on the calendar. But look at the fans and the love here for the Swedish guys, not just Isak Gifting, but everybody else here wearing the blue and yellow. The flares are flying. They have turned the hillside yellow here in Uddevalla. What an atmosphere here ahead of this Swedish Grand Prix. Absolutely fantastic. We had it with the red, yellow and black in Belgium 2 weekends ago. We get it all the podium ceremonies with the red, white and blue of Tim Geiser, don't we? What will we get in the Netherlands a week from now? Anyway, if you missed it yesterday, here's what happened in the Ram qualifying race. Isak Gifting there didn't get the best jump, but he had a fantastic opening lap. Held it nice and tight around the first turn. Here's Jeremy Seawer on board. Brian Bogus, where did that whole shot come from? And watch what happens here in a moment. Calvin Verlanderen, he starts to lose the back end. He spins around. Jeffrey Hurlings into the back of him. And Calder not very lucky to avoid him. Seawer and Bonacorsi as well, and Guadagnini. Hurlings was right at the back, and so too. Look at the carnage behind there. Verlanderen, the very, very last person to pick himself up, rubbing his hips. Horgmo was in there as well on the 24, and there's Hurlings picking himself right up at the back as well. And he had to have one of those Hurlings charges, but he didn't need it in this Ram qualifying race, did he? Downhill for the first time then. And Brent Van Donnick just there, Andrea Bonacorsi just behind with the GoPro here. Look how choppy the circuit was, because we had a lot of rain on Friday, high winds yesterday. The circuit dried out, but it was drying out a very soggy racetrack. There's Geiser, there was Prado. They were fighting for second and third behind Brian Bogus. Actually, Geiser did find his way past Bogus. Geiser found his way past Prado and then past Bogus. This was on lap 4, where we had the HRC rider take over the lead from the Fantic man, and then it was the Red Bull Gas who moved into second. A lap later, Bogus was having a fantastic ride until Roman Febvre came by and moved into third. Bogus would finish the race in fourth. Jeffrey Hurling's on the charge. He made his way past Koldenhoff as he fought his way through the field. That was for 9th position. Koldenhoff would eventually come home in 10th. Panzer was next on Hurling's radar, but Isak Gifting caught the rear wheel as he tried to find his way into 4th. Fortunately, he wasn't wearing the horns, only broke off the visor in that crash, but he did pick himself up to come home in 9th place. The Battle of the Swiss belonged to Siwa as he forced his way past the 92 at Valentin Guillot. Siwa came home 5th, Valentin Guillot 6th, but it was Tim Geiser for the 7th time this year winning the ramp qualifying race from Prado and Febvre. Take a look at the championship then. Coming into this weekend, Geiser was 24 clear of Prado, Hurling's 14 further back, heading into race 1 today. Geiser now a full race clear of Prado. He's 25 clear of the Spaniard, and Hurling's has lost ground to both of them. He's 19 behind the Spaniard now, as he has to prepare to dig in again to try and whittle down the gap between the top 2 in the championship. Tim Geiser, in the ramp qualifying race, he has been absolutely immaculate. 7 pole positions. He hasn't finished lower than 3rd. He's only finished 3rd on 1 occasion. That is where he is picking his points up. His 25 points in the championship have come from the ramp qualifying races alone. 25-point gap, that is. Anyway, here's how the riders line up. For MXGP Race 1, Tim Geiser on pole for the 7th time this year. Jorge Prado slipping next to him in gate 2 or 3. Roman Febvre goes to line 3rd ahead of Brian Bogus, Jeremy Siwa, Valentin Guillot, Jeffrey Hurlings and Jan Panzer. Hurlings started over on the inside, just looking down there. He started on the inside as well. Gate number 2, look. Isak Gifting goes to line in 9th, and Glenn Koldenhoff will go to line 10th ahead of Cornelius Tondale. Good to see him back. Brent Van Donnick, Calvin Valander, good recovery for 13th in the end. And then Horgmo, he was also down at turn 1, so equally impressive for the Norwegian, who also has a lot of home support here. So too does Cornelius Tondale, of course. Corwegians. Tim Geiser getting himself in the mood ahead of this first MXGP race. All smiles down there at the moment, but that'll soon change to a serious face. Jorge Prado knows he can't afford any slip-ups here today. The gap, 25 points between him and Tim Geiser at the head of the championship standings. Roman Febvre, the Kawasaki Racing Team MXGP rider, 3rd in the ramp qualifying race. And you know what, when he got there, he just let Geiser and Prado have it. It seemed like he was happy to sit there in 3rd and maybe save something for race day. Let's see, shall we? Isak Gifting finally ditched the horns. Can he put in a performance of a lifetime here? One rider who does need a performance, and a big one at that. Jeffrey Hurling's Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. Can't afford any more slip-ups, can't afford any more loss of points. Has to go out and try and win every single race, because the top 3 in the championship are so very evenly matched. We've seen a lot this year that the top 3 have shared 1st, 2nd and 3rd positions on a regular basis, and when it's like that, it's very difficult to claw back any points on your rivals. So we need riders in between. What about Jeremy Siwa? What about Roman Febvre? The Fly Racing 15-second border for the first time today. The MXGP of Sweden about to get underway here at Uddevalla. If ever you need a good start, today is the day. All eyes focused on the first 10 or 11 gates on this left-hand side. Jeremy Seewer, he will sweep in, but Hurlings tucks neatly to the inside. It was Seewer or Fevre that was there first, but it's Gifting! Gifting leads at home! Wow, what a treat! A rider off the side of the track was that Hurlings at turn 2. We'll soon find out. Listen to the roar of the crowd over here on the far right-hand side. Hurlings in 12th place. He did go off track. But Isak Gifting, he leads the way. Well, I'll tell you what, his heart is going to be pounding through his chest and beyond. He's got the 2 Kawasaki's right there in 2nd and 3rd, led by Jeremy Seewer and Roman Fevre. Fevre looking to make a move, though, quickly on his teammate. But Isak Gifting leading here for JK Racing Yamaha. Just give him 1 lap at the head of the field, just 1 lap. See some fresh water gone down. It's very hard and slick. You do not want to be the guinea pig that comes in too hot, loses the front, gets on the back end. Listen to that. Go on, Isak. You can't buy that. Up over the Monster Energy finish line for the first time. Isak Gifting continues to lead. Seewer there in 2nd, Fevre 3rd, Geiser 4th, Gio 5, Valandren 6th, Panzer 7, Koltnoff 8, Prado is in 9th. Advantage Geiser at the moment. Hurlings in 11th place after his run off track in this corner here, right at the start of the race, turn 2. He has left himself with a mountain to climb once again. Is Isak Gifting pulling away? Wow. That fall in the Ram qualifying race, obviously hit the head in the ground there, knocking some sense into him, telling him how to pull whole shots and lead races all of a sudden. Why not? He's at home after all. Leading the way at the end of the wave section. Things are just settling down ever so slightly. Hurlings now up in 10th place. Prado into 7th, Geiser into 4th. The top 3 championship riders and contenders. They are not line astern. They are not locked together. Geiser with the advantage. Here is Hurlings though, going after Koldenhoff for 9th position. And the one advantage that Jeffrey Hurlings might have over someone like Prado, for instance, and maybe even Tim Geiser, is the fact that he had to come through traffic yesterday. He might have a whole black book of passing manoeuvres that he can call upon throughout this 30-minute plus 2-lap race. And Prado, remember last year, by the admission of his dad, saying he's not a guy that passes. He doesn't like to pass. Well, he's going to have to dig in deep in this first race. Oh, I tell you what, he surfed his luck through that turn, didn't he? Shackles are off. Gifting feeling very, very relaxed, riding at home in front of his fans. He's got a 1.3 second advantage. Jorge Prado, fastest man on track though, 1:44.7. Prado up to 5th. He's found his way past Valandren, and that's coming out of the final turn as he ran up towards the finish line. And he stays nice and low as well. Prado up to 5th. Roman Fevre senses an opportunity here. He's taking a look around, thinks, right, Gifting's leading, Seamer's 2nd, that means process of elimination. Geiser, Prado, Hurlings all behind me. Guess what? Pull back the tension on the arrow, on the crossbow. And let's see what we can do with it. He just ran a little bit too high there. It was a bit tentative to the outside there. Was the number 3, Roman Fevre. Not the easiest place to overtake when it's dry, hard and slick like this. With 6 rounds to go, Jeffrey Hurlings can't afford to sit back and watch things happen around him. Geiser can afford to sit there because he's ahead of both of his rivals. Doesn't need to take the chances at the moment. And now he's getting himself into contention as well. The 2 Kawasaki's ahead of him. talking about Jeremy Seawood, where's this performance coming from all of a sudden? Been third a couple of times in recent Grand Prix in the second half of the season. But Roman Fevre will have something to say about that. Tries to get alongside of the number 91. And look who's joining the party, just there in the background on the Red Bull Gas. Number 1, Jorge Prado has got his main championship rival right there ahead of him, Tim Geiser. The HRC rider will know now that he's got Prado behind him. That'll just kind of tighten things up at the rear end. Squeaky bum time, anyone? Geiser, though, did weather the storm yesterday. He took over the lead on lap 4 of 13. Prado was into second on lap 5 in that RAM qualifying race. And everything he threw at Geiser batted back and even set the fastest lap on the final lap in that RAM qualifying race. He's going to have to do the same again today, isn't he, if he's to keep Prado at bay. But Isak Gifting, JK Racing Yamaha, continues to lead MXGP Race 1. In the blue and yellow of his country flag, he closes down the door on Jeremy Seawood. He doubles up onto the new part of the racetrack here. He goes right and then left. He's going to go defensive. But is Seawood going to get better drive on the exit? Not quite, but he might be able to get the drive around the outside. No, he cuts to the inside here. Oh, they're very close downhill. How much more can he take? Isak Gifting. He looks across and sees Seawood right there. He's going to go bar to bar with him. This place has not been this loud since Joachim Karlsson days, I'm sure. Leading at home. Look at the support from the fans. Meanwhile, Hurling's up into 8th position. He's only 12 seconds off of this battle here. He'll be relying on Gifting to just hold things up a little bit here for a little bit longer if he can. But Seawood makes his move for the lead. We got a new leader on lap 4. Roman Fevre eyeing up the Swede as well. Geiser still about a second clear of Jorge Prado. He's still there in second position. Anyway, Tim Geiser is getting ready to find his way past Roman Fevre here. He knows he can't afford to relax because Prado getting closer as well. So all of a sudden, after sitting there for the first 4 laps or so, Tim Geiser now decides to pull the pin, gets down the outside of Roman Fevre, eases into 3rd place at the bottom of the hill. Geiser has come alive. Let's go down to Lisa. She is with JK Racing.
So we saw Isak Gifting get the start, leading the way, dealing with the pressure. Okay, he was passed by Seawood, but he's still there in second, looking solid, looking good, looking confident.
Yeah, it's amazing, especially with his atmosphere in his home GP. It's something unbelievable for us as a private team. So yeah, now I hope he can stay a bit more like there and then hope to finish close to the top 5 and yeah.
But considering it's his home GP, a lot of attention around him, a lot of pressure on his shoulders, he seems really happy, super relaxed as well. He's dealing with it well.
Yeah, actually, this seems like it gives him extra energy. The fans are crazy, and this just motivates him even more. So, yeah, I'm really happy about it. So, yeah, just out of words.
Best of luck to the team. Let's see what happens. Thank you.
Yeah, Giuliano and the team, everybody down there, just keeping their fingers crossed. And you know what? He's still hanging on to second. We're on lap 5 of this race, 30 minutes plus 2. Oh, back end gets a little bit out of line there. And in the end, Geiser capitalises on that. He goes from third to second. He now goes after Jeremy Seawer and the hunt for 25 points. Right, Jorge Prado didn't make the greatest start, but he's there in fifth, eyeing up Fevre, and is alongside the Kawasaki rider as well. And he moves into fourth. And is there a pass for third at the bottom of the hill? Not quite. Wonder how much Fevre is just prepared to sit back and let the two championship rivals just do their thing. Doesn't want to get involved in that battle. Here comes Prado, hard on the brakes, and he pushes Gifting back into fourth place. Roman Fevre eyeing up the move as well on the Swede. As Giuliano Boschi says, anywhere in the top 5 would be nice, and he's already starting to look over the shoulder. Is the 5:17, and he'll be surprised to see that he's got about a 4-second advantage over the factory Yamaha of Calvin Verlanderen. It's worthy of an invite to behind the gate, isn't it? Right, Gifting on the Monster Energy finish line, and then in the opposite direction, Jeremy Seawer. Where has this performance come from, Jeremy Seawer? Well, for those wondering, Jeremy Seawer has 3 Grand Prix victories around here. Jeffrey Hurlings, Tim Geiser, they have 2. Fevre and Koldenhoff, they've got 1 apiece. Obviously feels very much at home around here. Does the number 91? He's 2 seconds clear of the championship leader, Tim Geiser, at the moment. And when you're up front, it just gives you that extra little bit of motivation, that extra 5 or 10%. You can see the track a little bit more. You're not getting roosted. Sometimes you can go slower to go quicker. Pick your lines wisely. You're not rushing because you're trying to find a way past, or riding defensive because you're not wanting to be passed. Your first 4 riders, Seawer, Geiser, Prado, Fevre, separated by 5 seconds at the moment. Still a long way to go, 17.5 minutes plus 2 laps. There's Gifting, he's starting to get caught by Calvin Verlanderen. Verlanderen putting in his fastest lap this time around. The South African with a 1:46.1 compared to a 49 flat pretty much from Gifting. You'll see that gap now, bottom of your screen, on the face of the jump and in turn 2. Talk about running on adrenaline. Isak Gifting, 8th in the Ram qualifying race after falling from 4th. Right, here's the bullet. Jeffrey Hurlings, he is in 7th, but he's 3.5 seconds behind. And at what point during the season does he start to think or doubt that it's maybe not going to be his year? We said that earlier on in the season, didn't we? But he's been on a bit of a win streak recently. But going wide at turn 2, that problem in the Ram qualifying race as well. The gap just growing now between him and Prado, and him and the race championship leader, Tim Geiser. Jorge Prado not able to do anything about Geiser at the moment. He makes a mistake there. That brings Roman Fevre closer to the rear wheel of the Red Bull Gas. There's no reason why Fevre shouldn't think about the top guys in the championship. There's still 6 rounds to go. Their destinies are in their own hands. He should be thinking about race wins and Grand Prix victories, and I'm sure he is, Roman Fevre. Right, here's Gifting. He's just starting to drop back now, but you know what? He's had a fantastic time at the head of the field, hasn't he? Verlanderen 5th, Gifting 6th. Hurlings coming through, though, surely. Goes around the outside, Gifting pretty much lets him have it, look. So Hurlings now closing in on Calvin Verlanderen. Those two now 5 and 6. Koldenhoff in 10th, Van Donning up to 11th, Bonacorsi 12th, Paturel 13th, Cornelius Tondel on the Schmeeker Racing KTM is in 14th. Then we got Ferrato, Guadagnini. Ferrato on the standing construct Honda, of course. Guadagnini on the Nissan Husqvarna. Hawkmo on the Ship to Cycle Honda Motor Blues SR. His teammate Valentin Guillot in 8th. Tom Cock, Anton Goll and Kevin Brumman rounding out the points. Benoit Paturel in red on the Debarch Yamaha. Closing in on the 132 of Andrea Bonacorsi. These two are going to be fighting over 12th place. A nervous look over the shoulder there from Bonacorsi, the Italian. Who reaches for another tear off mid-flight. Van Donnick just ahead of them. On the number 32, JM Honda. Meanwhile, Siwa, his lead has been cut. It was about 6/10 of a second as they hit the line at the end of lap 8. That marker did his best to stay out of the way there. Oh, Brian Boger's not getting the whole shot like he did in the Ram qualifying race. He's right at the back in 34th place. Right, Geiser, he's got about 2 seconds between him and Prado. Prado coming into view there, look. And Jeremy Siwa. If he can hang on to give Kawasaki a race win here, that'd be fantastic, won't it? Had, what, 4 top three finishes during the season so far. But you sense Tim Geiser is very, very impatient now and keen to find his way through. Siwa won race 2 here last year. Geiser, no room for sentiment though. Knows 25 points is going to be massive, because as long as Prado is behind him, he stays like this, or if he stays like this actually, he'll go down to 27 points. Oh, a mistake there from Siwa. Lost his footing on the exit of the turn, and that was a nervy moment for him, and all of a sudden he puts himself under pressure. Once again, the gap down to absolutely nothing, 0.463 of a second. Geiser in the ascendancy. Prado still a couple of seconds further back. .14 seconds off the lead, Jeffrey Hurlings, as he hits the line in 6th place, 2.7 seconds behind Calvin Villarnren. Villarnren, despite his fall in turn 1 in the Ram qualifying race on Saturday, and getting a bit battered and bruised and beaten up as a result, being hit by riders, did say in his pre-grid interview that he's actually feeling okay, enjoys riding the track here. So, and that's showing in his riding at the moment, the Monster Energy Yamaha man. Siwa has done well to recover after that mistake just before the finish line at the bottom of the hill through the right-hander. Oh, I tell you what, 11.5 minutes to go, plus 2 laps. Fevre, just rubbing his hands together here, is all the way back to the rear wheel of Jorge Prado. And Geiser breathing down the exhaust of Siwa. Why, he was just a little bit short there, wasn't he? Geiser over the crest of the hill. .3 between the first 4 riders at the moment. And the poise of Geiser on the pegs, using his legs to soak everything up. Very solid on the bike, isn't he, the Slovenian? Oh, bit of a moment there though, wasn't that? 3.2 between the first 4 riders. Siwa, Geiser, Prado, Fevre. About 8.5 seconds further back, Villarnren, Gaia and Hurlings. 3.3 behind Villarnren now. 7/10 he lost to the South African on lap 10. Still a lot of championship points up for grabs, of course, but things just not going the Bullets' way this weekend. is he starting to doubt himself? See how the racetrack is really drying out. The light parts of the racetrack just there through the waves. They are pretty much going very hard, very slick down to the blue groove. And hola, Jorge Prado. Welcome back to the party. He's right there, pretty much in the wheel tracks once again of Tim Geiser in the last couple of corners. 9.5 plus 2 remain. Right, Jorge Prado looking interested. 9 minutes plus 2 to go. He's going to get the momentum around the outside, but you just G out on the face of that jump there. So you can't really commit like they could yesterday. Just starting to drop Roman Fevre in the process. Because the gap now, like I said, it's only 3.4 between the first 4 riders. But definitely, Jorge Prado quicker out of the top 3, not by much. A 45.3 for Seawer, 45.2 for Geiser, 45.01 Prado, and then Fevre was a 45.5, so losing touch only by a couple of tenths. Hurling's 3.5 seconds behind Valandren still, having a very quiet ride. Makes you wonder, doesn't it, had he not ran wide at turn 2 on the opening lap, how different his race may have been or could have been. But normally the latter stage of the race is where he comes into his own as well. But this racetrack here, very hard, very slick, not the easiest passing opportunities or the most passing opportunities. You really have to work outsides, insides, as Geiser is doing here. But Seawer being very stubborn, he bounces off of the Slovenian who just stood firm. Geiser leads. Seawer was being resistant, but all of a sudden, he's just lost his focus here. He looks across and he's been rattled. And Prado into second. Going from first to third in the space of a handful of corners. But the top 2 in the championship, now first and second in the race. Game on, folks. Right. Geiser leads for the first time in race 1. But Prado from out of nowhere, hard on the brakes. Wow, he was 6 tenths behind at the start of the straight. And from out of nowhere, he catches Geiser unawares. Watch this here. He didn't think it was possible. And nor did Geiser. But he launches his way in. It could have gone wrong had Geiser not backed out. We could have seen a heap of scrap metal, but we didn't. We see Prado leading the way. What a big ballsy move that was from the Spaniard. He was starting to build. You saw him starting to gain ground. And in the blink of an eye, he goes from third to first. And Roman Fevre fed up looking at the back of his teammate here early on in the race, and now here on lap 13 he goes around the outside of Seawer, moves into third. He wants a little bit of the action further up the field. He wants to challenge for a race win. This not going well for Hurlings, still there in 6th place. He's going to be picking up 15 points. He's losing 10 to Jorge Prado alone. See, we're here, look, just went in too deep. Fevre around the outside, that's where he moved into 3rd place. You have to keep a nice, cool, calm head here, don't you? Now, in terms of the championship, we've been saying, haven't we, for the last couple of rounds, since we came back from Lombok. that to keep this championship chase interested between the top three, you need riders like Romain Febvre, Jeremy Seewer, just to get in on the act and mix things up and take points away from the main championship contenders. Well, Prado and Geiser, with them being in first and second, you've got Febvre, Seewer, Vlaanderen in between them and Hurlings. And Jeffrey Hurlings here has caught Calvin Vlaanderen, but still got to find his way by, and even if he does, he'll only gain another point. He'll move from 15 points to 16. The points awarded for fifth place, which is where Vlaanderen currently is at the moment. And ironic that these two who went down in turn one in the ramp qualifying race are now locked together in fifth and sixth in race one. 4 minutes plus 2 to go. You know what has occurred to me? Jeffrey Hurlings, after his Grand Prix victory in Flanders last time out, saying we've got some upgrades to test and it should be better for the starts. But normally he's a rider that sets things up for the track, not the start. A, is he riding with the new upgrades, yes or no? And two, are they working? Or has he tried something else? Has he been testing other things this week? This past week or so? Because sometimes you can set things up for the start and lose something on the racetrack. Certainly doesn't seem to have his usual sort of charge head on, does he, at the moment? Certainly not the same kind of head that we saw race 2 in Lockett, where he went down twice and still got back to fourth. So 3 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Jorge Prado now almost 2 seconds clear of Tim Geiser. Febvre third, Seewer fourth. The two Kawasaki's line astern. Vlaanderen here on the Montreal's Yamaha and the Red Bull KTM of Hurlings, neatly down the inside of the number 10, and he now moves up into fifth place. But he is 8 seconds down. 8 seconds down on Seewer, and he's running out of time. Romain Febvre keeping the top two in the championship honest and on their toes. Back markers coming thick and fast. We've got 34 riders lining up behind the gate this weekend. Was 37, we lost a couple. Laps complete. Prado 1:46.6, 3/10 quicker. Kato Nickel needs to be aware of what's going on behind him. You'll see the number 1 there now, and hopefully he realises that there's a bit of a championship battle going on behind him as well, with Geiser in there and Febvre. Not sure he's looked around at the moment though. How big those holes are over on the right-hand side on the run towards that city jump. Eventually finds his way by. Nickel not making it easy for Geiser and Febvre, is he? And that's cost Geiser a bit of time. 2 seconds the gap now between him and the number 1 here, Jorge Prado. Anyway, here's how Prado has found his way to the front. Around the outside of Calvin Vlaanderen early on. That was for 5th. On the opening lap. Then he went around the outside of Febvre and Gifting. Febvre first, and then Gifting at the end of the straight. That put him into third, and then Seewer as he moved into second, and then this pass here. What a pass it was. Had to be perfectly timed, and it was. Yeah, they liked it as well. That move on Geiser for the lead. Jorge Prado. The gap was 2.2 at the last intermediate sector. At the top of the step up as they hit the line at the end of lap 16. end of lap 16. The gap still hovering around about 1.9 between first and seconds. 3 laps to go. Hurlings finally coming to life, put his best lap in a lap ago, 1:44.5. It was a 45.6 that time around, compared to the 48.8 of Jeremy Seewer. He's got the gap down at 2.7. Do not be surprised if there is a 4th place on the table here, or potentially on offer for the Bullet. Needs back markers to be kind, though. Here's Seewer coming uphill in the opposite direction, asking a lot of that berm there. So too Jeffrey Hurlings. Right, Nicole. Is he aware of the situation now? Yes, he is. Clear track for both Seewer and the number 84. Pretty much left to get on with their own devices here, because Fevre 7 seconds clear of his teammate almost. Can he pick up the pace when he sees the Red Bull KTM rider closing in on him? Of course, that information should be provided by the team crew. Hurlings looking up across the other side of the valley just to see what's going on ahead of him. I'm sure he's working out the point situation as well. Into the penultimate lap then. And the gap between Seewer and Hurlings still more than 2.5 seconds. If he stays where he is, Jeffrey Hurlings, he will move to 6.87, 28 points behind Jorge Prado. Started the weekend 14 behind, so he's lost 14 points overall in this Grand Prix weekend alone so far. Top 2 uphill through the wave section. Here's Seewer and Hurlings, but Jorge Prado just over a lap to go. Been absolutely impeccable, hasn't he? So earlier on in the year, when he won the Grand Prix in Riola, became the Sand King. I wonder if he's the overtaking king now. Because coming from about 6th or 7th position on the opening lap, quickly into 5th, and then taking over the lead on lap 13. Boy, he's a little bit off track there, though. The only mistake we've seen so far from Jorge Prado. Well, I tell you what, that'll spike the heart rate, won't it? Dyson may have just seen that as well, and probably thinking, you know what, is he pushing? Pushing too hard, perhaps. Into the final lap. A couple of stabs at the tear off there on the side of the helmet. And the gap between first and second still hovering around about 1.8 seconds. Not a lot in it, though, between 4th and 5th. Needs one last push here. Both Seewer and Hurlings. Bidzans looks across there on the 57, Edvard Bidzans. Sees Hurlings closing in on him. Right, Seewer, one big push for him to stay there in 4th. An even bigger one for Hurlings to gain 2 more, what could be very, very vital championship points. He's not going to let Seewer off the hook, is he? Holding a nice tight line inside. Turns across the ruts. Every corner that goes by, Hurlings running out of the time. He needs mistakes like that from Seewer to help him out. Seewer goes wide, Hurlings down the inside. Went for the jugular, just lost out though. Seewer sitting there thinking, well, I'm not sure if I can take any more of this. Never know where the front wheel, the lunge is going to come from. It might come here at the end of the straight. Had to pull out. Oh, and he stalls the bike. He stalls the bike. He gets over the crest. Seewer off the hook. Here comes Hurlings now. just pushing. He knew he had to go for broke. But Jorge Prado rounding out the final turn, the left-hander at the bottom of the hill. And Jorge Prado will cross the finish line to win his 13th race win of the season. Geiser 8/10 further back. Great race for Jorge Prado and Red Bull Gas Factory Racing. Tim Geiser will go back to the drawing board. Conditions not easy though. Fevre third, Seewer fourth, Hurlings crosses the line in fifth. And Prado reduces the gap to 22 points. Watch this here, the 91, both legs off the pegs there. This was another lunge, and then watch here, out of the next right-hander. He stalls the bike as he goes to go on the gas. Just there, look, a very, very rare mistake from the 84. Gets it fired up, rejoins. But it cost him a potential fourth place finish. And 18 points in the end, he has to settle for 16 points. Isak Gifting crosses the line in 7th. To rapturous applause, and if he could go and do a lap of honour now, I'm sure he would. Even got time to talk to the local circuit announcers. Look, they're absolutely stoked. And it was a fantastic opening few laps for him, wasn't it? A dream come true to get a good ride, but to lead your home Grand Prix in front of these guys, the crazy Vikings. Good job, Isak Gifting. Been a while since they've experienced an atmosphere like that around here, but Lisa Leyland is down there getting ready to talk to Jorge Prado, your race winner.
Jorge Prado, congratulations, 13th race win of the season. Not the best start, but from out of nowhere, a sneaky move on Geiser for that race win. Tell us about it.
Oh yeah, super bad start. I don't know what happened. Also yesterday my reaction was bad, and today again super bad. I think I was around 15 or something around the first sector, and I just made my way up to the lead, and what a race. I mean, had to pass everyone to get here. We all know here it's very tough for passing, and somehow I managed to get the moto win, so I'm super happy getting points on Geiser, and yeah, struggling still with the lappers. Hopefully FIM puts a bit more blue flags. I guess everyone's sleeping over there, and not much work to do, but put the blue flags. It's, we are racing, and this gets dangerous when slower riders are getting in the middle. So no, super happy, and looking forward for Moto 2.
Okay, thank you.
Jorge Prado, your winner from race 1 here at the MXGP of Sweden. Well, I tell you what a race that was as well, wasn't it? Had absolutely everything in it. And Jorge Prado, the Red Bull Gas rider, that sneaky move down the inside of Tim Geiser when none of us were expecting it, least of all Tim Geiser. 13 race wins, he gets the gap down to 22 points heading into race 2. That's how close it was between first and second. Cheeky reaction there as well, putting the hand to the ear. Can you hear me? Did you hear that? And then shaking it out, making sure that Geiser can see it as well. Let's take a look at the highlights of that first race though, shall we, before we see the results. Oh, had everything. Here's what happened in the MXGP race 1. I think it was Bogus over on the far left-hand side of the gate. He tiptoed around the first turn there, look. But it was Seewer and Fevre who duked it out, but as they were going wider, Isak Gifting from out of nowhere, look at that, top of the hill, Geiser forcing Hurlings off track. And that was where Hurlings' problems began. Jorge Prado didn't make a great start either, but he was on the charge very quickly into 5th with that move on Calvin Verlanderen. Then Jeremy Seewer moved into the lead on lap 4 as he pinched the Swede to the inside. Geiser then got around Roman Fevre to move into 3rd, and then he went after Gifting, who made a slight mistake there as he moved into 2nd place. Tim Geiser Then Prado on the prowl, going from 5th to 4th as he made that move on Romain Febvre. Next man in his sights was going to be the number 517 of Isak Gifting. Moved down the inside to move into 3rd, and that is a move we would see again later on in the race. Geiser found his way past Jeremy Seewer as he moved into the lead on lap 12 of 19. And then Prado followed through as well into 2nd, keen to keep Geiser in his wheel tracks. And watch here, 6/10 in it as they hit the line, and he charged down the inside for the unsuspecting Geiser, and he took over the lead on lap 13. Febvre then around the outside of his teammate to move into 3rd as he tried to keep Prado and Geiser in check. Hurlings got close to 4th until he stalled here on the final lap. Seewer let off the hook, remained in 4th place. Hurlings coming home in 5th. But for Jorge Prado, his 13th race win of the season, winning here in race 1. Geiser and Febvre. Give me the result then, shall we? Jorge Prado picking up a massive bag of 25 points. Edging out Tim Geiser, Romain Febvre, Jeremy Seewer, and Jeffrey Hurlings will be disappointed with 5th. Calvin Villana in 6th. He'll be more disappointed, actually, Hurlings, that he got run off the track there on the opening lap by Geiser. Gifting, what a ride for 7th. And then Jan Panzer, 8, Koldenhoff, 9, Valentin Guillot, 10. Brent Van Donnick, Benoit Patrel, Albi Ferrato, Cornelius Tondel, Andrea Bonacorsi, Tom Cock. Then 17th for Horgmo, Guadagnini, 18, Brummer, 19, Anton Goal, 20th place. Take a look at the foxhole shot. It was very, very closely fought, wasn't it, right at the start of the race? There you are, you wouldn't get away with that health and safety in England, would you, the hill people? You'd all need to be wearing high vis for a start. 2 Kawasaki's over the line, but it was Romain Febvre who bagged the foxhole shot for Kawasaki Racing Team MXGP. And you know what? That is his 3rd of the season. Jorge Prado continues to lead the way. He is on 14, Geiser on 5, Seewer 4, Febvre 3. 7 whole shots for Kawasaki then this year so far. Koldenhoff, Villana and Maxime Renault all with 1 apiece. Take a look at the best moments then, shall we? Prado crossing the line for his 90th career race win here in Sweden. Well, those milestones keep coming for the Spaniard. We're going to take a break. Join us in just over an hour's time when we return to the MXGP of Sweden. MX2 and MXGP Race 2 coming up later on this afternoon. We'll see you then.